Hey there, it's One Boom, and today I wanted to share with you guys some of the problems I've been having on a technical level with Black Ops 3, and also I want to ask you guys to share this video with Activision support, Treyarch, Vandahar, and I hope you guys also are leaving your guys' feedback to those guys at Treyarch. I will leave a link down to Dan Olsen's Twitter down in the comment section below, as well as some other Treyarch developers. Also, I will link some Digitalfoundry videos that I'm about to reference in a second. During the beta of Black Ops 3 on PS4, there was screen tearing and frame rate drops, and it was obviously, beta problems, whatever. And then during the Xbox One beta, those problems weren't, they weren't there. Okay, so the Xbox One got the lucky slice of cake, and it was fine. So what I'm wondering right now is how did, after the beta, the PS4 get its screen tearing and frame rate issues fixed, and the Xbox One gained more frame rate issues and gained screen tearing when it didn't have it before in the beta. If you guys are wondering what screen tearing is, I'm about to show you. Also, here's the textures I'm talking about. That is mush. I don't think this is acceptable. I hope this is a glitch. I hope this is not just how the engine is or how they did the game. But this is very meshy, very sad, very PlayStation 2 looking. This is what screen tearing is. You'll see it right here on this tree. Very little bits, just off and on. There's a little screen tearing up here. You'll probably see it. You'll see that tree get kind of mutilated by the screen tearing here, and that's whatever. It's just a little bit of screen tearing at the beginning of a match, but also it's right here. Is as I'm jumping. You can see it. It's a tear in the screen. But also, it's back here. And this is where it's very, very prevalent. So right here, I throw a Simtex. And by the way, whoever is at Treyarch and whoever did this, like specifically the explosion for the Simtex and frag grenades, that is really awesome to watch in slow motion. You put a lot of detail and work into that, and I applaud you. So I go here and I throw that concussion grenade, and as you can see, very, very gross textures. Something very weird happens right here. There's a weird blur effect. I don't know if it's because of the background there or not, but there was also a weird frame rate drop while I was playing. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it in the 60 FPS recording, but it felt like I was playing about 3 FPS there for a second. But it was like this quick jump, and it might have just been lag in the match, but I feel like I felt it a lot in this game, where it's just kind of like a stutter. But also you can start to see the screen tearing happen here, and it does not stop there. Every time I do something, it feels like there's a screen tear. As I start to aim down sight, it's always in the top 10% of the screen here, by the way. Every time I aim down sight, it tears. Every time I shoot, like literally timed with my shot, the screen will tear. And I don't know if it's because of the landscape or the place that I'm looking at, but this happens on every map all the time. Look at this. This is cutting this guy entirely in half. Like, to me on my screen when I was playing, it just looked like glitch and he was there. Like, I was noticing it a lot, thanks to Fufa for stealing my kill there. And it's happening even now. I'm not shooting, I'm just reloading, and there is screen tearing here. You can see a displacement, and it goes up. It looks like VHS lines. I showed my girlfriend while I was actually playing a match, and she noticed it. I asked my dad if he noticed it. He said no, and I said, well, just look for the VHS lines. As soon as he had that image in his mind, he instantly spotted it at the top of the screen as I'm playing here. Now, I asked Dan Olsen on Twitter, and if you guys don't know who Dan Olsen is, awesome guy. He responds to people on Twitter all the time. I'm reading his bio here so I don't get what he does wrong, but he works at Treyarch, and he does engine, tools, and graphics at Treyarch. And his Twitter isn't like, he's not like a community manager. He's not supposed to deal with all your guys' stuff. So if you tweet him, make sure it's concise and make sure it has a point, and make sure you have a logical question. He'll get back to you. He's a cool guy. Dan Olsen, if you're watching this, you're a cool guy. I'm gonna probably send this video to you. And because I explained to him, I saw this screen tearing. He said he was surprised that I noticed it, and he said it was a compromise that had to happen. That's what he told me on Twitter. I don't see how this can be a compromise. And maybe on Twitter you can explain it to me, or maybe you'll leave a comment on this video explaining how it's a compromise, because this was not needed on Advanced Warfare or Ghosts. It wasn't needed in other games like Battlefield or Titanfall or Destiny or Fallout. and those are pretty graphically intensive games. I mean, even Ghost at 720p on Xbox One, which is laughable, is just it doesn't make any sense why the Xbox One doing what it's supposed to do with games. It's doing 60 FPS, 900p. That's what it's known for. That's why I like the Xbox One. It's always provided consistent image quality and consistent performance. Actually, one of my biggest problems is that these problems weren't in the beta for Xbox One, but they were for PS4. So the PS4 problems moved over to the Xbox One, and the PS4 is basically now performing like the Xbox One was. No frame rate dropping, no screen tearing. They have a drop here or there. It's a game, whatever. But I mean, it does seem odd that the game does this, what's on the screen right now, on a consistent basis for me. And I mean, and now that you guys know where to look for it and know what it looks like, you guys, I'm sorry, might notice it more when you're playing now. And also just the muddy textures, the overall just slow loading of the textures. Like, I have to stare at walls and surfaces for the textures to load in properly on them. And obviously I'm not going to do that in the middle of a match. But I do think that something needs to be done here to optimize this. And the reason I'm making this video is because I'm not a developer. I don't know the right terms to use. I don't know the right people. But I do see the problem. As a consumer, as a casual player, I see the problem. So I hope that means something to you guys at Treyarch. If any of you are watching this, Dan Olsen, or anybody else really, if you're watching this, I hope that does mean something, that the common consumer on Xbox One can notice this. And I mean, this wasn't really that big of a problem on Advanced Warfare. There was some slow loading textures on Detroit, but this is just like Blur Ops 3. And I mean, and no disrespect, I don't know what it takes to make a game and to optimize the things I'm talking about. I have no idea how to do that. So I'm not saying like, oh, Treyarch's incompetent. No, they're definitely a solid team of developers. They always make a solid title. Even Black Ops 1, I would consider to be more solid than some shooters I've played, and that's pretty impressive, seeing how that game was a little bit janky. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got something out of it. I'm not just trying to be nitpicking, be like, look, you see here in this one frame, there's a thing that's happening. Oh, he's a little discolored here in this one frame. Oh, see, I died. My animation jumped. Look at this in this one frame. This is what happened. No, I'm not trying to be like that. There's YouTubers like that. I don't want to be like that. I'm just saying I'm noticing this problem when I'm playing. The reason I'm slowing down footage for you guys is to help you see it. Because I'm not just going to play the game at full speed and then be like, oh, did you notice that? Did you notice that? You take my word for it or you don't. I mean, but in this scene here, I can see it. Like, I don't know if you guys can see. Look, I paused and there it is. It's tearing the whole screen here. And that is not the whole screen, the top of the screen. But if you really can't notice it, you don't notice it when you play, you're barely noticing it in the video here, you think I'm just being nitpicky, let me know in the comment section below. If you just dislike me, go ahead and hit the dislike button. And I mean, let me know what you guys think. And also, I don't want any comments saying, buy a PlayStation 4, oh, it's time to turn in your Xbox. The Xbox is fine. It plays games just fine. I enjoy playing on it. This is the only game I've seen that has this many texture and frame rate, not frame rate really, as much as texture and screen tearing. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you when I see you. Also, if anybody from Treyarch was watching this, or if you're still watching it, please know that I have a lot of respect for what you do. I don't kiss ass. I'm actually quite vocal about when I disagree with what developers do for games, and if I had a serious problem, I would be a little bit more frustrated. I just want to get this fixed, and I hope you guys want to as well. So yeah, thanks for watching.